October 14th, 2022 for the Township Road Crew and the administration. Keep in mind that this is a mere formality because it did already get paid. But it has to be approved, yeah, it has to be marked.
So moved for approval?
So, Wilson approved, any seconds?
Second.
Barr seconds. Any, we're gonna talk about payroll, so I guess.
I gotta add one
how do you
thing to
do?
that, Mr. Spar,
Yes.
subject to being true and correct.
Subject to being true and correct.
Okay, subject to being true and correct.
Yep.
And, we have a motion by Wilson, a second by Spar, roll call?
Dupree,
Yes.
Spar,
Yes.
Parrish,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Evans-Bourne, yes, motion carries.
Okay, approve or deny the bill pay from the Overlook Sinking Fund in the amount of $75.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Okay, any seconds?
Second.
So we have a motion by,
Again, subject to being true and
Oh.
correct for me.
okay, subject to being true and correct.
Yep.
And, I have a motion by Lauren and a second by Spar, conditioned upon being true and correct. Roll call?
Dupree,
Yes.
Spar,
Yes.
Parrish,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Evans-Bourne, yes, motion carries.
Approve or deny the bill pay from the Brentwood El Remus storage account in the amount of $6,490.37. Found to be true and correct.
I beat you, Steve. I beat you on that one.
Oh, do you?
We agree with you.
So moved.
This
Subject
week.
to being true and correct, well, hey,
Okay,
I don't know
Don't
if
blame you.
they're, I wanna make sure
I don't
I'm true
blame
and
you.
correct before I.
so we have a motion by Mr. Parrish, any seconds?
Second.
So we have a motion by Mr. Parrish and a second by Mr. Spar. Is there any, deliberation, so to speak? Okay, roll call?
Dupree,
Yes.
Spar,
Yes.
Parrish,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Evans-Bourne, yes, motion carries.
Okay, so, approve or deny the bill pay from the Brentwood General Fund in the amount of $90,876.44.
Subject to being true and correct.
Subject, I keep forgetting it, gotta write it down. I'm new at this.
One thing I would just like to comment, I've seen the contractor that's working down there on,
After, point of order, gotta wait till it's motioned and seconded.
oh, okay.
So we got a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we got a motion by Wilson, a second by,
I'll make sense.
okay, second by Parrish. Okay, any comments, any discussion
I
on
just
it?
wanted to make a comment about the contractors, bill in there, so of course, working on Coal Bluff Road to see it, possibly, so we get that project.
Well,
I don't know what's gonna happen, and I
as a
wouldn't,
matter of fact,
I wouldn't go.
on the day the judge made his decree, Wednesday, the engineer was here, I came down. He was taking a phone call from Mr. Slusarsik. Mr. Slusarsik was yelling so loud, I could hear him through the engineer's phone without it being on speakerphone. So I, asked him to put it on speakerphone, and I talked to Mr. Slusarsik, and, he was walking. He's already pretty much done with bill pay app number 2, and he hasn't been paid for pay app number 1. He said he was 60 days behind, and said he was on the agenda and was told he was going to be paid last Wednesday. I don't know why, because there was no expectation that could even happen with nobody on the bank accounts, with nobody bonded, with no secretary treasurer but he was told by someone on the staff that he was going to be paid. He said he was ready to walk. With the asphalt plants getting ready to close soon, great risk that if he did walk, that winter would make that go in reverse and the money that we have spent towards that project. So, so I'm happy to see that you guys are paying that.
I wanted to make a comment. I too was here Wednesday after we were sworn in and took our oaths of office. And I heard the same coming from the engineer's office. He was screaming at him and he was put on speakerphone, and he did reiterate that his his pay is 60 days behind.
And I do not blame him for being upset. I don't blame him. I mean, you gotta meet payroll.
Yes, he was ready to walk, and he was promised he was gonna be paid that week. And with the resignations the week before, there's no way that he could have been paid, because she was the only person on the bank account, and you need 3 people on the bank account to sign a check. And you also need a bonded individual, and both bonded individuals put in their resignation the week before. I sat on this board for 1 term, and just the little bit that I have found since I took my oath of office, the little bit of information that I have, I am really, really concerned where we are financially, because we're finding out bills aren't being paid, big bills. And I took the oath of office and I stepped up, and I will do the best I can. I'm really, really concerned what we're gonna find. I'm really, really concerned. I'm up at night thinking about it.
Linda, that's why, I know Steve and I talked about this.
Yep.
Talked with Mr. Minkle about it. And based on our prior year's experience, initially, as this appointed and elected board proceeds forward, even before we proceed forward in a comprehensive fashion, to get an accredited auditor here, CPA, either 1, to do a basic audit, or 2, to do a comprehensive audit. Not taking from certain accounts samples to see what may or may not have occurred. But if we have to have a comprehensive audit, to go down to the level where all the T's and all the I's are dotted, to see what happened with the finances of this township, how they were handled, where there additional costs were incurred for late payments, how legal hirings, as I like to say, we had more attorneys working for this township at one point than what they have in the U.S. Justice Department, causing this township thousands upon thousands of dollars. And as we all well know, in Mr. Sweat's office, there were escrow accounts set up through which township funds were filtered on his approval from the board to his office and then to whatever vendors were out there. Now, the identity of some of those vendors were only established when some of the ladies and gentlemen in this township filed right to know after right to know to acquire that information. What was that money spent for? What was the purpose of those vendors? And in talking to other attorneys, that type of practice was to them, or for them, unheard of. Where did that money go? To what vendors and for what purpose? Or purposes?
I'd like make a mark on that. I would venture to guess the gentleman that just left here was probably Mr. Slusarsik, that was probably here to make sure that we passed his bill. Cause after we passed his bill, he took off I'm only making a guess, I haven't met the guy in person. But I'm guessing he was here tonight to make sure that
I hope we have the
we
funds
paid
to
his bill.
cover that.
So maybe he'll stay on Coal Bluff working.
So I'm gonna
Okay.
throw out to the board for its consideration.
Can I ask you a question, Mr. Spar?
Yes, sir.
There was supposed to be an audit done for last year's, expenses and so forth by an auditing firm, and that hasn't even been done
We
yet,
are
and that
still
was supposed to
waiting
be
for
done
that.
by April of 15th, and it's still not done.
We are still waiting for
We're
that.
still waiting for that, we
We
don't
are
have
about
that.
we are about to go into budget workshops with no audit of 2021, but that's the weekend.
Right, you're right, Larry, we have to, and we should get something started right now to check and see where we're at, because we're talking about things, we don't even know whether we have $5 or $50,000 or dollars or what we have, we don't know.
Keep in mind, there's $10,000 payment to the auditors
Yeah,
on this bill
no, I
pay as
saw
well,
it in
so
there.
maybe much like Mr. Slusarsik, they were waiting.
Well, I
I'm
hope
not
you're,
sure.
I hope you're right, maybe you should call them and say,
Yeah.
say if you bring it, deliver the audit, and we'll have the 10,000 for you there, that's what you wanna tell them.
Second payment towards it. Okay, so I have a motion by Mr. Parrish, being true and correct, seconded by who, Ms. Warren?
I believe it was the motion by Mr. Wilson and seconded by, Parrish.
Okay.
Pay the bill,
Based on being true and correct.
subject, right.
Subject to being true and
Well,
correct.
it has to be
Okay,
true and
so
correct.
we have a, motion by Mr. Wilson and a seconded by Mr. Parrish. Roll call?
Dupree,
Yes.
Spark,
Yes.
Parrish,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Evans, Boring, yes, motion carries.
Okay. We are down to public comment again. Anybody